Hey guys, it's Terrence Nan. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka P-Dub, in the house. We're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother.
What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan from Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day. We're recording on Monday night with our latest episode. We're going to recap a little bit of the crazy weekend Florida State had on the recruiting side. We got a lot to cover. Also getting ready for early signing day that's happening this Wednesday that we'll have full coverage on also. And then, of course, some highlights throughout the week and players transferring and ending their careers at Florida State and getting ready for NFL draft prep, which we should have a good conversation about. But with me tonight, we have all the lead guys. We got lead writer and editor Dustin Lewis. We got our lead basketball writer Austin Beasy and our lead recruiting insider Jeremiah Zanders with us tonight. What's going on, Jay-Z? We haven't spoke with you in a hot minute on here.
Man, it has been a whole 60 seconds, my guy. It's been good. It's been good.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his introduction.
You know what, Dustin?
No,
I was longer than that.
Oh, that's it.
That was at least 85
No, that
seconds.
wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot.
Dustin's
No.
always hating on my intros, man. You got to get the info out there. That's what you do in shows. You don't just say, all right, recruiting, here we go.
That is true.
Gotta get the listeners what they got to get ready for what they're gonna hear in the next hour and a half.
Attention grabber. That attention grabber. Sure.
Exactly. How are y'all doing? Y'all having a good week?
Yeah, I'm
Or
doing
just-
great.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very pristine, especially with this mic quality. Finally got the new mic for the podcast, and just want everyone listening to know that Logan didn't purchase it himself. This was actually a gift from a friend, and I no longer consider Logan a friend because he couldn't get me a
Good
mic.
day.
So,
Damn. Wow, that's tough. Well, you know what? That was a nice job by your friend there, and we're even better with our budget right now too because of him, and that's what you like to hear. That's what I love to hear. And shout out to him. What's his name? So we can give him a shout out on the podcast. You're not even going to give your friend a shout out. I just gave you a mic.
hey, Nick Lopez bought me this mic. He's a
There you go.
great guy, and Logan, I'm going to be sending you a bill for this shortly. So we won't be saving anything in the budget, actually.
Wait, is this yeah? Is this the friend that told you that your mic sucked and that you needed a new mic?
Yeah, but you also told me my mic sucked, and you didn't get me one. So
Well, did Austin give you one? He didn't either.
I never
Yeah,
mentioned
but-
the quality, though. Let's be fair. You said you were going to get him one.
I did.
I
And
never
you
make
failed.
such promises.
All right, these people don't want to hear us argue about mics and Dustin's mic problems. Everything sounds beautiful, Dustin. Sounds great. The listeners are going to hear all of your wonderful thoughts, pure as it will be. Y'all want to get? Let's get into a little bit of recruiting. That's why mainly we have Jeremiah on here. Jeremiah is going to be with us the whole night, though. But as the main focus here is to bring him on to talk recruiting. He's been very busy with this the last week, even more than that, and it's going to be a crazy next couple of days too. But let's get right into it with the big one now. And, you know, Jeremiah, you heard on early with Chubba Purdy coming. He's currently a Louisville commit. Tell me about that whole situation there for Florida State.
Okay. Chubba Purdy. First of all, he'd be the highest ranked quarterback FSU would sign in this class. He's a good guy to Arizona. His brother is the Iowa State quarterback, and he's very good. He's getting NFL looks if he stays another year at Iowa State. So he has good bloodlines, and he's actually been connected to Kenny and Coach Norvell because they coached at Arizona State. So they already knew about this guy when they were at Memphis, but obviously you don't have the clout to recruit a kid like Chubba Purdy at Memphis.
Yeah.
He's just not going there. So once they got to FSU, they took a look at the quarterback room. Obviously, we know about the Jeff Sims situation. They told him they liked Jeff Sims, but they were like, "We want you to come in. We want you to do the whiteboard. We want this and that." There was like a mutual parting of ways, and Jeff was probably going to Georgia Tech. Well, he'll be a good fit there. But um, we got the Tate Rodemaker. Got to mention him before you mention Purdy, because obviously he's committed. But and I want to mention Tate because he's actually a really good quarterback. He's 6A, first team All State in Georgia last year in 2018. And in 2019, this season, he was even better. He had he had like over 10 more touchdown passes, like almost 1,000 more yards. He threw less picks. He and his film is really good. He's accurate. He can throw outside the pocket. He has a good arm. Not the greatest arm. He doesn't have a cannon, but he has the arm to get it there, and he's very accurate. He knows how to get the ball in the end zone. Yeah, I mean, he's really good. So shout out to Tate Rodemaker before we move on to more Purdy talk. Shout out to Tate Rodemaker. He's already committed. He committed after his official visit. He's a very good quarterback, and a really good job by Mike Norvell jumping on him and getting him to sign with FSU before the signing period. All
Yeah,
right, yeah, go on.
I really
Dustin.
like Roadmaker. I mean, I'm a little partial because I am from Valdosta and he's from Valdosta High School. It's actually where my dad went to high school, which is crazy. But like you said, Jeremiah, really nice prospect. He threw 42 touchdowns to just 10 interceptions as a senior. And honestly, I think he's a little bit underrated right now as a 3-star prospect. I was actually DMing 247 Sports, Zach Blostein, and we were talking about Roadmaker, and he mentioned that he thinks that he could potentially be a low 4-star prospect by the time the final rankings come out. So I really do think Mike Norvell found himself a really good one with his first ever commit at Florida State. And if he lands Purdy as well, he's going to look really good.
Yeah, he's going to look excellent. He's going to look excellent. And that is also a good point, Dustin. That's actually Mike Norvell's first ever commit, Tate Rodemaker. So that's worth mentioning as well. And especially it being a quarterback. So all right, now let's get to Chubba Purdy. Let's get back to him. I had to give Tate Rodemaker his shine. He deserves it. He deserves it. So Chubba Purdy, he'd be the highest ranked quarterback if we signed him. He's a current Louisville commit. Now we all know about Louisville coach Satterfield. He's a very good coach. He probably deserves ACC Coach of the Year. He probably does, because Louisville was in a worse situation than FSU was. He turned them around. Chubba Purdy committed to Louisville in July. So he's been committed since the summer, about not too long, not like, a lot of current quarterbacks these days like to commit like almost a year in advance or 10 months in advance from when they actually sign. So they can lead the class and recruit, do all this, be the cowbell leader, all that kind of stuff. So, but he has a good relationship with Louisville. But on the flip side, it's Florida State. Let's admit it's a bigger stage than Louisville. It's more opportunity for him to be on national TV more. Coach he knows, Mike Norvell, a system that's proven to him at Memphis. Mike Norvell can give him the numbers from Memphis. Yeah. Mike Norvell can give him his numbers from Arizona State. And oh, by the way, my offensive coordinator, he was with me at Arizona State and he was with me at Memphis, and you know him too. So you're not going to come all the way from Arizona to Tallahassee and be uncomfortable. You know us. And you're going to be on a big stage. You're going to have an opportunity to play early because the quarterback depth chart, I'm a new coach. So all of these guys are on the same playing field. I haven't seen any film. So Chubba, you can come in. I'm signing another high school quarterback, and I'm probably going to bring in a grad transfer. So it's going to be a 3-quarterback class. But, I mean, you have a little bit of, like Kenny Dillingham was saying today in his his press conference. They're looking for that special sauce at quarterback. And they're looking for winners, and they're looking for mental ability. That's why they wanted Jeff Sims to, do the whiteboard so he could prove that he could, that's why that situation occurred. Yeah. But that's really what they're looking for. And Tate Rodemaker's a winner. He's a state champion. And Chubba Purdy's a winner. He's a state champion. So all the ingredients are there for what Mike Norvell and Dillingham are looking for in a quarterback. They pushed for Purdy. They offered him. They called him up. They said, "Are you interested in coming for a visit?" Chuba said, "Yeah, let's go." A lot of good vibes are coming from the visit. A lot of the players are following him on Twitter. He's following a couple of FSU players. He's liking some FSU posts. The vibes are looking really good for a flip. Of course, the Louisville side is probably not going to, they're probably going to be more air on the side of we're confident we're going to keep him. But if you guys remember, even though Louisville staff is way better than FSU staff last year, but Willie Taggart and had Sam Howell, and we thought he was committing, even though all the signs pointed to him flipping to UNC, which is what he did. So it's kind of the same deal here to me. I think all the signs are pointing to Chuba Purdy flipping to FSU on signing day. But it's one of those. Well, if I see it, I'll believe it. But I'm saying tepid on it now. I'm saying tepid because it will be a huge coup. It will be a huge statement. I mean, to me, it will be a statement nationally, especially in the ACC, where Louisville is your direct rival, because you're already flipping Josh Griffiths from Louisville, and now you're flipping Chuba Purdy, who, by the way, Chuba Purdy is their highest ranked commit in the past 5 cycles for Louisville.
Wow.
Their highest ranked commit in the past 5 years. They don't get a lot of highly ranked kids at Louisville. They really don't.
Be swiping away their gift from Christmas.
and we all know that stars do matter. They do. Mm-hmm. So Louisville, even though they might have a good depth chart, even though they have a 3-star quarterback committed, they really need a 4-star quarterback to take them to the next level. And that's what Chuba Purdy is. And if FSU can flip him on Wednesday, bring him into Tallahassee, it'll be a huge coup. Mm-hmm. It'll be a huge statement. And honestly, I'm erring on the side of it happening. I think it will happen. But like I said, I'm tepid. I'm waiting to see because, you have to see Mike Norvell kind of sign these kids. You want to see him sign them. You want to see him complete the process before you go all in.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that we can say is, I mean, Purdy and Florida State, the interest there is definitely mutual. I mean, shortly after Norvell was hired, obviously he reached out to Purdy's family, and like you mentioned, Jeremiah, Purdy's been committed to Louisville since the summer. By all accounts of what we know, he has solid relationships with the staff there, very comfortable with the school. And then Norvell gets hired by Florida State, reaches out to Purdy. And I mean, almost instantly, this last-minute visit is set up, and Purdy has to fly here all the way from Arizona. He had all kinds of flying trouble, and yet he still made it out to Tallahassee and was on campus for about 24 hours for this visit. So this definitely wasn't a visit for fun, as you can tell by all of his traveling issues. He really wanted to be here to check out Florida State, and hopefully Norvell has done enough with the little bit of time he's been given. It's going to be tough to flip him, given all the relationships at Louisville. But, I mean, if he's comfortable with what he knows about Norvell from the past and his other stops, then come on down.
Come on down.
And they had him sit for lunch with President Thrasher.
Yep. That's
him
big.
And Morvan.
Morvan Joseph.
Yeah, we should get on the Morvan too, because I'm big on Morvan myself, and he's a big boy, and where he wants to, he's a built guy, and there's a lot of teams after him, of course, right now.
Pass rushers.
What's the situation with him? Because he was just here this last weekend, and he declined interviews with other outlets. But what's the latest with him?
Well, there's 2 uncommitted pass rushers who FSU would love to have in the class, and of course, one of them was a former commit, Josh Griffiths. I'll get him out of the way pretty quickly because I'm pretty sure he's signing with FSU on Wednesday. In fact, I'm like 100% sure. So, Josh Griffiths, he's a former commit. He loves Odell Haggins. He was at IMG this past year. His senior film was way better than his junior film, which is a good sign. He's one of those guys who you see at like Nebraska or Boston College or somewhere like that, and they're like a redshirt junior. They have like 10 sacks, and you're like, who is that guy? Why is he doing these things? I don't know who he is. That's Josh Griffiths in the best way possible. So He's a good player. I think he has a high ceiling, to be honest. Because if you get him in a college weight room and get his technique, he already has good technique. He's been at IMG. I think he can be a good player for FSU. I think FSU, frankly, needs the numbers. They need the defensive ends, and Odell knows this. The staff knows this, and they're going to flip him from Louisville, where he really he wanted Odell to be the head coach, but then he wasn't. So he went Louisville. That's a good program. He wanted to save a spot, but now that FSU is pushing again, he's going back to where he's wanted to be the whole time. So that's on Josh Griffiths. Good player. Good thing that FSU was able to flip him on a visit. I'm really confident. Like I said, 100% sure he's going to sign on Wednesday. Good pass rusher. Good player.
Do you think that Josh Griffiths only committed to Louisville to get Chubba Purdy to Tallahassee?
Oh, the conspiracy theories. that is a very if I don't think it's true. I don't, because that would be extremely just almost almost maniacal, man, to do that to a team, to say, like, let me commit to this entire program just to take from this program. But it would be a boss move. If that was
who would know about this and would have the best insight would be Austin Veazey. What is your take on that? We probably woke up.
I was waiting for this. I have no opinion.
There you go. Basketball. There it is. We're just making sure you're still awake over there, Austin. We know we'll get the basketball in about an hour or so.
I'm holding on by a thread, so hurry up.
Recruiting is almost over. What about the rest of these guys that we have on our list here? We got wide receiver Brian Robinson. He's planning on signing at 10:30 on Wednesday. Also, Mormon Joseph is planning on signing at 4. Griffiths at 10:30, and Brian Robinson at 10:30, wide receiver. But how about Kendall Dennis and Marcus Fleming and Brian Robinson?
Yeah, all of those guys are huge targets for Kendall Dennis. I think if like Mike Norvell would have been the head coach in like the summer and pushed for him and got him to commit early, we would have really had this locked up, because we should have been. Kendall Dennis would have been locked up if the previous staff had pushed for him. I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't. And so Oklahoma's been pushing for him behind the scenes. Auburn's been pushing for him. Looks like he wants to he has developed enough relationships with the Oklahoma coaching staff to go there. But you never know. Brandon Gannon his former teammate, but I think the previous coaching staff kind of messed it up for the current coaching staff in that one. So expect him to sign with Oklahoma. Now let's see. Marcus Fleming, wide receiver, DB maybe, but probably wide receiver at the next level out of Miami Northwestern, a powerhouse down there. He's a really good player. He was brought in on the official visit the week that Mike Norvell got hired. Him and Caden Renfro were both on that visit. So he really didn't get to meet Coach Norvell on the visit. He hasn't gotten to meet the offensive coordinator in person. Nebraska's kind of built some inroads with him in his recruitment. So I think he goes with Nebraska. He goes with the relationships. And that's honestly a very good get if Nebraska can close the deal on him. Let's see. Morvan Joseph, all right. He came in. No one was really expecting him to come in this weekend, because previously he had a top 2 of Florida and Tennessee. He was one of those guys who wanted Odell Higgins to be the head coach. When he learned Odell Higgins wasn't going to be the head coach, he decommitted from FSU, opened it up, went on an official visit to Tennessee, went on an official visit to Florida, announced that he was signing with the top 2. Then all of a sudden, Adam Fuller gets hired at defensive coordinator. Odell Higgins is still pushing for him. They get him to visit this past weekend. I mean, he was a former commit. He was committed for a long time. I'd say the odds are about probably 50-50 between us and Tennessee. Tennessee's been pushing very, very much. Tennessee's probably been pushing just as much as we were when we were trying to get his commitment and throughout the process. So they've always been there. Jeremy Pruitt's a good coach. He has a good defense. Tennessee is looking like it's making improvements. So, Jeremy Pruitt can sell that Tennessee's making improvements. We're in the SEC, best conference, yada, yada, yada. It means more, yada, 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 whatever. And that's what Mike Norvell and Adam Fuller are trying to go up against. Hopefully they get it done. Like I said, it's 50-50 because it's so late to form a connection with a coach.
Right.
Especially your head coach and your defensive coordinator. He already has that connection with Odell Higgins. That's not a problem. It's the fact that you don't know your head coach, So if Mike Norvell is able to close, because basically this would be Odell Higgins would be the one. He's the reason the door is open, but Mike Norvell would be the reason we flip him because he wouldn't commit to FSU without trusting the vision of Mike Norvell, period, of the head coach. So if Mike Norvell gets this done, that's another feather in the cap for him. If he doesn't, I'm mad because it's a position of need and we frankly need to sign a guy like this, especially since he's in Florida. But I wouldn't be that mad because Mike Norvell didn't have a lot of time. He was behind the 8 ball by a long shot here. So the fact that he got him on a visit, the fact that he has Morvin Joseph thinking, that's very positive. So I just want no fans who are listening to kind of keep perspective, keep that in mind going into Wednesday. We might think we're signing everybody. Your school might think they're signing everybody, but probably they're not. They're probably not going to sign everyone you want or everyone you need. So keep that in mind. But like I said, if Mike Norvell pulls it off, it'll give me more confidence in the future to say, hey, that guy's going to FSU. But he hasn't done it yet. So he has to, as long as he keeps doing it, he proves it, then I can make more positive predictions. But for now, you know what I'm saying? I can make, but for now I'm tapping on Morvin Joseph. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on him, but I'm honestly pretty confident that Purdy is going to be a no. I'm very confident that Griffiths is going to be a no, and who else? Brian Robinson. All right.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, our number one receiver target. If you guys are listening for the just a quick overview of the whole receiver class, Malachi Wideman, 2 sports star. He's going viral. He's made LeBron James freak out, Dwayne Wade freak out with his dunks. Very good basketball player.
Yeah, he's wild. I can't wait to watch him. He's probably my favorite one coming in that's going to be making me go to the tuck almost every game, probably. Free entertainment. That's why I loved watching Terrence Mann be there. Having Kamadi, but all those cats up there, because after a while, just alley-oop, and it was just entertaining with Kofor and all those cats. Yeah. But Malachi Wideman's going to kind of even up that up just a little bit more.
Oh yeah, like he wasn't really producing on the football field as much before his senior year because he wasn't focusing on it. He really thought he was going to be a full-time or really a most of the time basketball player.
Yeah.
But once he started doing more 7-on-7, he started getting football offers. He transferred to Venice Beach, one a good school. They won the state championship in Florida a couple of years back in their classification. And it's also the same school as Thomas Schrader, FSU left tackle commit. Boom. Connections.
Yeah. Wait, well, Austin can jump in here too about Malachi Wideman basketball side.
Oh yeah, he can. That's true.
What do you think about
Malachi? As far as I heard, on his visit this past weekend, he also visited with basketball and Coach Hamilton and staff. As far as I know, he's still fully committed. He's good to go for Wednesday. And thankfully, he's taking a football scholarship and not basketball.
Exactly.
There you go. Opens up more room for Leonard Hamilton on the basketball court.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, he's an excellent player. He actually made like the SI first team All-American, which is pretty impressive. It's the first time they've done it. He made the list. That's pretty impressive. For his stats this senior year, he had 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. So he was triple teamed a lot. There are a lot of his Twitter highlights. He was like triple teamed. He was catching it over triple teams. He was double teamed constantly, but he always balled out. He he honestly, if I had a pro comparison, like almost like a more well, I wouldn't say more athletic, but like a more springy, a more jumpy version of Des Bryant in terms of because his catch in traffic is so good, and that's Des Bryant's best trait is his catch in traffic. The fact that Des Bryant can get like three defenders are around Des Bryant, he still catches the ball. That's Malachi Wideman.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's a throw him up, bust him up wide receiver. You throw it up, bust him up. He catches it over four guys. He's in the end zone. He's one of those guys, especially if we can get him in a good strength and conditioning program. Put him on weight because he's going to need weight for both sports, really, basketball and football. He's going to need to gain weight, especially playing in the ACC. And both, he's going to need to gain weight. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to help him in both sports. He has, like I said, sky high potential. Like I said, he's not ever going to have that body type that Des Bryant has, that huge frame that Malachi Wideman's not going to have that. Well, maybe a better comparison would be AJ Green because in terms of body type, they're more similar. But he's not. But that catching traffic, that speed, those long strides, very dangerous on the next level. He's going to be a very dangerous receiver and a dangerous player on the basketball court as well. He's going to be alley-oops all day with this guy.
I want to watch. What about Demore Tate, corner?
Oh yes. Very good. The highest ranked commit in the class. He's the best player in the class right now, period.
Yeah.
Even if Chuba Purdy signs on Wednesday, we get Griffiths, whoever we get on in February, Demore Tate's going to be the best player in the class. He can play cornerback. Or when you watch his highlights, they're elite. Like anybody can watch this man's highlights and be like, whoa, that guy's probably going to play as a freshman. He has a chance to break any rotation. He has great awareness. He has great athleticism. He has great technique. Even in his high school highlights, he's turning his head for the ball and catching it. When was the last time we seen the FSU DB do that?
That's
this
true.
guy's what did it in high school already. You don't even need to coach him to do that. He's doing it naturally. He just knows how to do it. He's springy. He's 6'1". He's very fast. He can cover a lot of ground. He's not 6'1" with no hips. He has very loose hips. He's a fluid athlete. Like I said, he's the best player in the class. He's been committed to FSU for a long time. He's locked in. And he's going to be the crown jewel of this class and, quite frankly, a defensive building block for Coach Adam Fuller and whoever the DB coach is going to be. We don't know who that's going to be yet. But whoever the DB coach is going to be, they're going to have a lot of fun with Demore Tate because I think he can break into this rotation as a freshman, and I think he should because of his length and his athletic ability. Now, we don't know, we had the whole situation with Travis J, so he might, take a lot of time because he couldn't play last year. So if Travis J comes back and he does what we expect him to do, he's going to, Demore Tate might have to wait a little longer to get on the field. But he has a solid shot. He's the best player in the class. In a clutch to get him to sign early and not, flip to any other team basically because it would have been a bad miss. We need this man.
I want to go from a guy like that, but then drop all the way down to Zane Herring, who's been a bell cow for this class for a long while, and you see him trying to help recruit on Twitter and. Used to be him, Sims, and Griffiths, but now it seems like he's lost on. He's a solo dolo right now, but Zane Herring is a big cat.
Yeah, he's
champion.
He's definitely big, man. He's one of those guys who was Madison County, like we said, same school as Travis J. We were just talking about him. 2 straight state championships. They're a very well-oiled machine. They have a lot of future talent that the FSU should be looking into as well. But he's just a very good offensive lineman. His technique has improved. He's bulked up. He's always been one of those guys who you want to come into the program, redshirt him, and just watch him develop and watch him go. And FSU hasn't been able to do that on the offensive line in a long time. And he's one of those guys. And him, Lloyd Willis, the offensive tackle from from Miami, who's signing Wednesday. Those are guys you want to bring into your program, redshirt them, and then 1 to 2 years after they redshirted, they're a starter or they're really good depth. That's where you want to be at when you're recruiting these sort of guys. And honestly, Thomas Schrader too. All of the offensive linemen we're signing, you want to redshirt all of these guys, to be honest. You don't want to be in a position where you have to play any of these guys. So hopefully, but they're all excellent offensive linemen. We probably need another JUCO, maybe a grad transfer, Devery Hamilton from Stanford. That would be awesome if we got him. Maybe a JUCO. We're offering some JUCO linemen. It would be good if we added a JUCO lineman. But yeah, Zane Herring definitely the bell cow of the class. Definitely one of the better offensive linemen in the class. He's a mauler, better in run blocking than he is in pass blocking, which is pretty normal for a high school offensive lineman. And he has a really good potential. Like we don't know who the offensive line coach is going to be yet, but they have a lot. They have a lot of building blocks to work with, even though it's not a lot. They got Dante Lucas. You have Darius Washington, even though he got hurt. So, and you have a lot of other pieces that you want to kind of replace. You kind of want to plug in a grad transfer right there at guard, or a grad transfer at tackle. So you know what I'm saying. So these are the kind of guys like Zane Herring. These are the kind of guys who want to be like. You don't want Zane Herring to be like to start in year one.
Right.
You want to bring him in year 2 or 3 and be like, now you're ready to start. And now, we have the depth behind you. You can just go ahead and go. But does he have the potential to start at FSU? Yes. And he probably will in his career start at FSU. Probably a lot of games. He's a good player. He has a lot of potential, and he's going to work. He's going to work. Excellent class. Excellent player in him. Let's see. Let me go back to the wide receivers though, because a wide receiver that we don't talk about a lot is Ja'Kai Douglas from Louisiana.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I was wondering about him. If you could tell them about him.
I love Ja'Kai Douglas, man. Let me tell you guys, he's one of the most least talked about recruits. He kind of committed out of nowhere. We really did.
Yeah.
No one had any Taggart and Dugans and David Kelly were on him. It was like a random weekend, and he just popped up. I was like, oh, okay, this is good. He has a lot of potential. He's a slot. He's one of those 5'8", 5'9" guys, quicker than fast. Has good hands. He's versatile. His senior year, he had kick return touchdowns, punt return touchdowns. He was playing quarterback. He was playing running back. He was playing receiver. All in the same game. He was the main attraction when his team stepped on the field. He really was. He has excellent footwork, technique. I think he's going to be a really good slot receiver for FSU. I think Mike Norvell can, a guy like Ja'Kai Douglas, he can put him in space, get him running east-west, get him running north-south on some go routes. I think Ja'Kai Douglas has a lot of potential. He had over 1,000 yards this year. He had he had over 10 touchdowns. Very versatile athlete. He can do it all for you. Has a lot of potential, and he can be a very good slot receiver, a very good wide receiver 3. You need those guys. You need a guy like a Keyshawn Helton. Who we really missed when he got hurt. We really miss him the rest of the year. So one of those guys who's going to be dependable, catch the ball in the middle of the field, do all the dirty work underneath. And he's just one of those guys to complement Malachi Weidman and a Brian Robinson, who I'm about to go into right now. Brian Robinson, he's going to be your second outside guy in this class. He's from he's from the South Beach area, Miami. Ronald Dugans is the key here. It was a very, very excellent move, a very shrewd move by Mike Norvell to announce Ron Dugans as he was retaining him as wide receiver coach before the official visit weekend. Very smart, because you had Malachi Wideman visiting, you had Ja'Kai Douglas visiting, you had Robinson visiting. Those are your receiver commits. They want to know who their coach is. Boom. They don't even have to ask you. They already know he signed. Excellent job by Mike Norvell right there. So Brian Robinson, he's one of those guys who Dugans has targeted since he got the FSU job. One of the first calls he made when he was the FSU wide receiver coach was to Brian Robinson. This is a guy who Dugans, when he was coaching Miami, got Robinson to commit to Miami for a while.
Yeah.
About 6-7 months he was committed to Miami when Dugans was the coach. Dugans obviously hired by FSU. Taggart gets him in. He's able to get Robinson to decommit from Miami, play out the process. Robinson, in terms of stats, in terms of football, had an excellent senior year. Had about 1,200, 1,300 yards, but he had 19 touchdowns. Had 19 touchdowns in 1 year, in the senior year. So, I mean, this man was going off every week. So he's a big play threat. He can get down the field. He can catch the ball over the middle. He can moss you. He's even though he's not the fastest, he has that kind of long speed. Kind of has like that low 4.5, mid 4.5 speed. That's fast enough to burn most DBs. So you're good in that area. He's not slow. He's very fast. Not
So you're saying Dustin might have a chance?
Yeah, well,
he said, "Yeah."
A little shit. I mean, if Dustin takes some HGH for a couple of months, he'll be set.
Oh no, Dustin's got a lot to do.
I would need like a 30-yard head start to beat him in a 40-yard.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, at least then he would beat you walking backwards, probably. Goddamn.
Oh, man. That's
Brian Robinson. He's one of the he'd definitely be on the same tier of Malachi Wideman, I'd say. I say Brian Robinson and Malachi Wideman are in the same exact tier in terms of talent, in terms of what they can do for FSU in the future.
This one's got some basketball craziness skills.
Yeah. He'd be a really good get. Ron Dugans wants him in the class. FSU would love another wide receiver. You can never have enough wide receivers at a school like FSU. You always need more playmakers. Mike Norvell, Coach Dillingham said it's a system built for playmakers. And that's what it is, man. That's what Brian Robinson does. He took the visit. Going into the visit, he knew who his wide receiver coach was going to be. And basically that was all he needed to know. He had already been to FSU. FSU's already been leading the recruitment since he decommitted from Miami. Dugans is his favorite coach. FSU is in the state of Florida. He doesn't have to go, anywhere. He can still play in a good conference. So on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure Brian Robinson is going to sign with FSU. It'll be a huge get for Dugans. Expect him to be very excited. Expect all the coaches to be very excited because, like I said, this guy scored 19 touchdowns in his senior year. That's it, in his senior year. That's nothing in South Florida.
In South Florida, that's the rich
nothing
amount
to frown
of
at. Right, that's nothing to frown at. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's very hard to do. He's a beast. It will be a huge coup to get him, and I think we do. It will be a definitely a boost into the recruiting rankings. Make another feather in Mike Norvell's cap, even though it'll be Dugans. Mike Norvell's take the credit. We need him to take the credit. We need more clout for Norvell. Let's be honest.
We got, let's see, Monday now, 2 more days, so we'll have an instant. We'll most certainly jump back on here to recap Wednesday, of course. Sure. Just overall, we'll end it off with like overall thoughts heading into Wednesday and what you think the staff has done so far, because obviously we'll get into it, but we watched the press conferences today. And everybody's calling Dilly from the Bud Light commercial. Florida State's new offensive coordinator, Dillingham, talked about recruiting, and he doesn't have. There's not a lot of time for these guys, but I mean,
exactly.
He says he's not really trying to sell himself. He said, "How about you just go ahead, telling the recruits, just call my former players and talk with them, and see what they say about me. I don't need to do any of that kind of stuff. Just go talk to them. I don't have enough time to, I'm not going to sell myself. You just go talk with former guys that I've coached and have been successful. So what are
And
you heading
Logan,
into Wednesday?
the
How
thing
you
about
feeling?
that is that for interviews like Coach Kenny, Mike Norvell, he said like the same thing that Coach Dillingham said, and then Coach Fuller kind of said the same thing that they both said. So it's like your head coach, your offensive coordinator, and your defensive coordinator are all on the same. They all have the same mindset. They're all thinking the same, and that's very key in terms of everything to do with the program, and especially in recruiting, because like Coach Dillingham said today, kids can see when you're fake, and that's what I think they've done the best job of since they've gotten hired. Coach Mike Norvell has told these kids, "I'm gonna be straight with you," and he's told them the truth. And in the long run, he's going to get way more respect. It's going to open up way more doors because recruits, even, they hate fake, especially kids any age, especially 16, 17, 18, 15, probably the youngest you're going to recruit, a 15-year-old. All of these, they can see the fake. And Mike Norvell hasn't been fake with anybody. He was upfront with Jeff Sims. He was upfront with Alex Atkavich. He's been upfront with all of these guys, and they respect him for it. They don't. It's not like they don't like the guy after. So I think that's what they've done the best job of doing. And besides that, probably closing the deal on the class that Taggart already had, because a lot of the recruits were decommitting. Of course, they couldn't get guys like Jalen Knighton back in the fold. They couldn't get a guy like Keyshawn Green back in the fold. But if they would have had more time, they could have got those guys back. It was just with those, it's like there was so much against them when they were hired. They didn't have the pull to get them back, but they did have the pull to bring in some quarterbacks. They did have the pull to keep the offensive line class together, to keep the best, the most talented DBs they had committed. They're going to sign on Wednesday. They kept the linebackers, besides Keyshawn Green. They kept them together. Steven Dix Jr., a very good linebacker, had to get his signature. He's going to be a good player. Jayon McCluster, a very good linebacker, very smart on the football field, had to get his signature. He's going to be a very good player. Locked all these guys down. Even Lawrence Hoyle-Philly, running back. You need running backs. Cam Akers is going to leave. Jalen Knighton flipped to Miami after Taggart left, and your depth chart is like Kalen Laybourne, who may or may not be here. Anthony Grant, who just decided he was going to come back, and then it's like Jay-Sean Sheffield. I mean, you need running backs, and so to get Lawrence Hoyle-Philly to sign, even with no running back coach, is a good deal to me. I mean, keeping that current class was critical, and now you have to add to it. So that's what I think they're doing now. They're sending out JUCO offers. They're really being pragmatic in their approach to recruiting. They're being, especially Dillingham, he's following all of the JUCO guards. A player enters the portal, like Joey Yellen, the Arizona State quarterback, entered the portal today. Dillingham was on them. Jay Sean Corbin, a former FSU commit, all SEC freshman first team under Jimbo Fisher and A&M. His second year against Clemson this past season, he gets hurt in the second half. I think he's out for the whole year. Enters the portal. That's a running back. That's a position of need. Mm-hmm. By fall camp, he's going to be healthy. He can help your football team. So getting players like that in, that's the next step in February. But so far in December, with the early signing period, with a lot stacked against them, they've done. I mean, I'd give them an A, especially if they were able to flip Purdy, get Griffiths, get Marvin Joseph, guys like that to sign on Wednesday. That would be huge. Like, as an FSU fan, you really, based on the situation, you can't ask for more than that. So at the end of the day, Norvell's doing a great job so far. The key is to close the deal on Wednesday in February in January. Attack the grad transfers, attack the JUCOs, get them in.
Well, we'll have a lot to recap after Wednesday. I'm sure we'll jump on here when Jeremiah is available, and we'll get on here and talk recruiting and recap the early signing day. And I know we'll be covering that like craziness over there at NoelGameDay.com. We're already preparing for that too. So let's jump into a little bit of what's happened this week. We can start today with the press conferences, and I think most of us saw them or saw clips, but I remember I watched it today, and both coordinators talked to the media, and it was pretty interesting to me. It feels a lot different than Taggart's staff and what he brought in. These guys seem very intellectual, and they're smart, and I'm not saying that the former staff wasn't smart that Taggart brought in, but they seem like focused. And the number one thing that stood out to me, and Austin, if you're there, I'll let you comment too, but it seemed like they're very they're so high on Norvell and wanting to work with him. They see the chemistry, they see what he's proven at his past jobs, but also they've worked with him and also in the past, and how much they wanted to come here and be with him. Obviously, this is Florida State, and they said that a lot in the press conference, but being able to work with Norvell and what kind of chemistry definitely Dillingham, the offensive coordinator, will have with Norvell is something that was special to why he left Auburn to come to Florida State.
The fact they wanted to come back with Norvell just shows how important Norvell is to them. We talked a few times about how there may have been some differences with Taggart and his staff. So for staff to actually get along, it's been a few years since we've seen that.
Yeah, one thing that I thought is they looked very comfortable and prepared talking to the media. I mean, before each question that was asked of them, they took the time to greet each media member, and they were just very respectful. They knew what they wanted to say when they got up there, and I mean, it just feels like obviously the full staff isn't in place, but with the head coach, the offensive and defensive coordinators set now, it feels like there's a really good amount of cohesion within the staff, and they know what they want to do moving forward. They have a plan.
I think Dillingham had mentioned, the offensive coordinator mentioned that him and Norvell are actually roomed together right now, and he was commenting also on how in the past, if it's last minute and they're trying to get something going, play, or if they're trying to draw something up, they usually click easily, and they have that kind of chemistry, and that's something that he was throwing out to the media a lot, that his relationship with Norvell, he respects Norvell a lot, and he's very thankful for Norvell for bringing him through his career, and now he's at Florida State, and they said that they are gonna they're gonna try to do a lot of things for playmakers. That's been the top thing that Norvell has been saying since the opening press conference when he arrived at Tallahassee. It feels like Norvell's been here for a lot longer, but it's been feels like a long week. But I mean, he has done a lot. But he said this is going to be a team for playmakers. Obviously, he's pushing out that recruiting, but Dillingham also put it out there today and showed his track record with players that had some great stats and quarterback situation too, of having a lot of yards and both passing, touchdown numbers, and a little bit of rushing too.
Yeah, I mean they know what they want to do. They're going to bring the same. I think we're going to see the same defensive system that Fuller ran at Memphis, which was a hybrid 4-3. And then offensively, I know Dillingham mentioned they wanted to run more of an up-tempo, pro-style type system. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they already know exactly what they want to run. They know what kind of players are going to be able to fit their system. And as you've seen with how they're attacking the recruiting trail, they're going out to try and find these guys to bring them into the system and have some success. And in the meantime, there's going to be some placeholders from Jimbo Fisher and Willie Taggart's rosters that they're going to have to work with to kind of ease into their systems.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that's everything we got from the press conference, unless anybody has anything more that they're impressed. I mean, with Adam Fuller, I was just talking to y'all before we started recording.
Yeah.
I can tell by his voice that he's cussed out, he's chewed out a good amount of
Yeah, that was a good.
players in his past. You know, when
Exact.
you can just tell with that voice, that raspiness, that he's lost it
Right.
multiple times, and he looks his physical features are a little bit different. As he just seems a little bit more scarier than Barnett.
Like a lot of people are saying it today, but he actually does a comic book hero kind of villain character. He has that type of vibe going on, man. That you really don't want to mess with this guy. But he was so cold and calculated to me when he was
Yeah.
talking, especially when he was getting into the football. He was talking football. He was like, "This is this, then this, then this. That will result in this. Then this will happen." It was very structured, and I was like, "Okay, you know what you're talking about. You're getting me hyped."
Mm-hmm.
So he's still he's like a very kind of like an Odell, where he's calm, but you know he's going to cuss you out if he needs to.
Yeah,
He
But
kind of
he's
reminded me
scarier than
of
Odell. Scarier.
Mickey Andrews.
Yeah, that's a better one, Mickey.
He talked about Mickey Andrews too, and how he's looking really forward to meeting him, and hoping he can meet him soon, because it'd be a proud moment for him being able to meet the former defensive coordinator. But yeah, it seems like if Adam Fuller, he could flip a switch real quick, and I think that's what fans are looking for with what's been happening. What Taggart brought to the table was just a little bit more ease on the sideline, guys making the stupid mistakes. But you make a stupid mistake, and then you can tap on the helmet, blah blah blah. But I mean, it would be numerous. I mean, it'd be back to back to back, and it'd just be the same thing over again. I mean, I think Florida State fans are also used to seeing Jimbo Fisher, and it doesn't matter who you were. It could be Jalen Ramsey. It could be Jameis Winston. We saw numerous times on national TV him pulling Jameis Winston's face mask and chewing him out.
Right.
And I think, and I'm big on being, the discipline situation. I think it does have to be pretty strong here at Florida State. And definitely defensively, but it seems like he could flip a switch real quick. If you're going to screw something up, or you're going to talk back, or you're going to make the same mistake again, or you're going to screw something up during the game and make stupid penalties, I really wouldn't want to walk back to the sideline. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to face that.
He's in your face, and you can tell he's like that in every aspect, in recruiting, in the film room, in the practice during game day. You can tell he always has that same mindset, which is what we need in a defensive coordinator. And in terms of Dillingham, I was just impressed with his maturity, with his knowledge of the game, and really how fast he's risen in the profession. It's really impressive, and he's already has a good recruiting resume already. So Dillingham impressing me too. I was impressed with both of them. Mm-hmm.
What else do we have on here? We got a lot of stuff on here. So of course, what happened today? It became official from Ole Miss. Former offensive line coach Randy Clements is going to be heading over with Lane Kiffin. He's going to be leaving Florida State. Any thoughts on that, guys? He came from Houston with Briles. They were hand in hand, and it seems like they're probably going to be splitting off from each other, because we're not expecting, of course, Kendall Briles, an offensive coordinator, to go over the Ole Miss, because they already grabbed their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, Ole Miss hired Jeff Lebby, and now Clements and Briles are going to be splitting up for their next coaching stops. It's kind of interesting, because we thought of them as more of a package deal coming into Tallahassee, and now not even a year later they're splitting ways and going elsewhere. But it's definitely a nice landing spot for Clements. I'm sure he was hoping to stick around in Tallahassee for a bit longer, but I mean, with having to pretty much flush out the entire Taggart regime, I mean, Clements had to go as well.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think Clements made his mark. I remember reading an article from Deshaun Reed of The Athletic, Abdul Bellows mentioned if he'd had Clements here his entire career, he would have been a much better player. And that's not only a dig on the previous staff, but also a credit to how good Clements is at his job. So hopefully the guy we get in next, I know there's already rumors on who it will be, but hopefully he's just as impactful and he can make these kids better players.
Yeah, it's just tough because, I mean, you've got guys dating back to Jimbo Fisher's final year in 2017. So guys who will be seniors in 2020 will have gone through 4 offensive line coaches. You had Rick Trickett, you had Greg Fry, you had Randy Clements, and now you have maybe Chris Thompson from TCU. So we shall see. But, I mean, like guys have gone through 3 head coaches now in 3 years. Position coaches as well. Guys are just going right through position coaches. So crazy situation for some of the veterans on this roster.
Trayshawn Harrison has entered the transfer portal, and we saw flashes early on from his career, and we were really excited about watching him this season, and under Taggart with what offense we were expected to see from the Taggart and company. But Trayshawn Harrison has entered the transfer portal, and he had some little bit of some inconsistency this year, and it seemed to be back-to-back games. And there was grabs where usually he does catch them, but there were drops. But that was Taggart's guy coming from Seattle. This was Taggart's guy, and I don't think a lot of us are shocked by this.
No, not at all. I mean, really, the only reason he ended up committing to Florida State is because of Willie Taggart. He was committed to Taggart at Oregon, and then whenever Willie got hired by FSU, he made Trayshawn Harrison literally the highest profile recruit of Tribe 18. Spent a lot of time landing him out of Seattle, and yeah, I mean, for Trayshawn, it's just unfortunate because 2 years later, the guy you wanted to learn from throughout your collegiate career is gone, and you have to find a new spot. So I'm sure we'll see Harrison probably head back more towards the West Coast.
It's just another notion of that you should commit to the school and not the coach because you never know where the coach is.
I mean, yeah,
that too.
He could always reconsider his decision, though. I mean, he's in the portal, so if he does like what he hears from Norvell, I mean, Harrison could always come back to Florida State. So really, it's a situation where we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee. The portal's never a guarantee. They can always come back.
Yep. Here's a good conversation that we were talking about a little bit before we started recording, but this one, I mean, it's not a surprise for maybe the other one, but Alex Hornibrook and Dontavius Jackson will not. We weren't expecting maybe Alex Hornibrook to play in the bowl game, but Alex Hornibrook and Dontavius Jackson have decided to skip bowl game and start early training for the NFL draft.
What draft did you say? What draft?
I said the National Football League draft that's coming up.
We're talking about the same National Football League, not like England's National Football League.
I'm not entirely sure.
Are you sure you're not talking about a completely different sport entirely?
I might. I don't know. I mean, I was just going off of what we saw was told by us from Odell Higgins that they're training for a draft.
I think you got the notes mixed up. There's no way they're training for the NFL draft. You must have mixed something up there.
Nah, sadly not. Dontavius Jackson is he's not gonna want to risk his. What do you say? He doesn't want to risk anything that he has right now and lose it in a ball game. He thinks, he already has enough tape from what he thinks.
Well, he
That's
certainly
the best
does
joke
have
I've
tape.
ever heard.
He does have tape.
It's not good tape, but it's tape.
It's tape.
He doesn't want to ruin the draft stock that he's got.
He has as good a chance of getting drafted as I do of dating Victoria Justice.
Okay, we didn't know that.
I'd put his chance of getting drafted more. I'd say that's solid. I'd say more.
Damn.
I'd say more.
What do you guys think about Alex Hornibrook, future NFL Hall of Famer?
If by football we mean soccer, his throat does kind of look like a kick. So.
It does.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, Dontavius. I mean, y'all just need to be respectful, and he could have a chance here. He does not want to ruin any kind of draft stock that he already might have, and he doesn't want to get injured in the big bowl game.
Against Arizona State.
Yeah, big bowl game.
Huge bowl game. It's the Tony the Tiger. It's great Sun Bowl.
You know,
I remember when Dontavius Jackson was a big recruit.
Oh yeah.
That just goes to show you
Houston,
that
Houston boys
recruiting, the numbers don't mean shit. I mean, literally.
Right.
Because I remember it was the class before Marvin Wilson. We landed Dontavius Jackson out of Texas, and we were really excited moving into the next cycle because we figured that relationship would help us land Marvin Wilson, which it did. And I mean, that's really the best thing Dontavius Jackson ever did in his career. He got Marvin Wilson to Tallahassee.
Yeah, we thought he was going to fix our linebacker problems, and he arguably made them worse.
And he just twisting running backs' necks in the pile and crap. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
and it also proves how the recruiting under Jimbo fell off tremendously in that last 2 years.
Yeah.
His evaluations were just garbage for 2 straight seasons.
You know, I think
anything.
I think y'all are just hating on Dontavius Jackson. Oh well.
Should we not?
That's my comment on him leaving the team. Oh well.
You're not saying it like the video.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Maybe
if he's a good special teamer, the sky's the limit from there. That's going to keep him on the roster. Special teams.
Speaking of the
bowl, telling great jokes here.
Yeah, this is great. If you're coming here for football or basketball coverage or even baseball, you're in the wrong place. We make some pretty good jokes. We should change the category from football to comedy on iTunes.
Dontavius Jackson will have a shorter NFL career than Jalen Wilkerson.
Whoa!
Damn, out of nowhere, Jalen Wilkerson gets whacked. Damn.
Oh, that's great.
From the top rope, okay.
Retired NFL player.
Retired NFL player Jalen Wilkerson.
After 1.5 years.
Oh, there that long?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been a free agent for like a year of that, 1.5 years, so.
Yeah, sounds about right.
There you go. Speaking of the bowl game, too, let's get into a little bit of that because we have not been able to discuss this on Here the Spear, but Florida State's going to be facing Arizona State in El Paso and pretty much the Tiger Bowl. Yeah, they're going to be facing Herm Edwards. Yep.
It's honestly not a bad bowl game.
It's really not. If we were even a slightly better team, I'd probably be way more excited for this game, to be honest. Because Jaden Daniels, he's a good quarterback. He's a true freshman. Arizona State has a good offense. I mean, we supposedly have a good offense, so it will be a good game. Hopefully, we score some points.
We're going to get
the thing that worries me is that, I mean, Jaden Daniels is a true freshman. He's been really excellent throwing the ball. He's completed 62.3% of his passes, 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, almost 3,000 yards. He's got 2,748. So, I mean, we know, the worst part of Florida State's defense is the linebackers and the defensive backfields covering down the field. And especially with Arizona State running back Eno Benjamin deciding to go ahead and declare for the draft and sit out this bowl game, I think we'll really see the Sun Devils try and throw the ball, and I'm not very excited to see that.
That's an astute observation, Dustin. Also, a saddening one. Maybe too astute.
Yeah. I wonder which way they'll probably throw that ball. And want to take a guess?
But I mean, I really feel like this is a good bowl game for Florida State because some of the projections coming out were like FSU versus Florida Atlantic and the Independence Bowl, and now you get to actually play against a quality team, a quality program that Herm Edwards is building over there or at Arizona State. So this is going to be a good bowl game. two middle of the pack teams stacking up against each other. I just really feel like with the coaching turnover we're seeing on Florida State staff before the bowl game, all the assistants probably won't be here for the bowl game. Like, I'm not expecting Clements now and some of the other guys to coach in a couple of weeks. And I just feel like Florida State not having as many staff members out there, the crazy turnover we've seen with Mike Norvell being hired, they're just not going to be able to pull out a win in this one.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing here to me, which I think we should have a key takeaway, is that Florida State and Arizona State have are probably the most prettiest women from both colleges, and they're two big party schools too.
I think they're both top 5 in the nation, actually.
Yeah, I mean
top five.
I wish this bowl game was like a little bit at a better place in El Paso, but we could really, because then I would probably make a real reason to go.
Hey, you never know. A couple players might go over the border and get kidnapped by the cartel. So there's definitely some interesting storylines that could come out of this one.
Well, I wasn't really thinking.
Didn't even ponder that one, huh?
I didn't.
Why would we?
That was that.
Yeah. Hey, that could actually happen. I'm just saying they need to put out like a flyer or something to everybody.
You got to let them know.
That's interesting. One thing that we don't even have listed on here, but I mean, it's still a big one. But I think we, of course, expected this about middle of the season, was Cam Akers has announced that he's going to declare for the 2020 NFL draft. He is going to not play in the bowl game. I like this. He does. I think. I mean, he still, I think, would have a pretty. I think he still could have some tape against Arizona State, but I mean, this whole season, he pretty much did what he had to do with that offensive line he had. He shaped himself different from what he had last year, and he improved. You could tell his work ethic. I mean, if we go back to the early part of the season too, his conditioning that he had to put through during the off season, and how many snaps he was getting during the season, and the nonstop, and he was still 110% effort. He did a good job, and I think he's going to kill it most certainly, training wise, getting ready for the combine and the draft, because I think with a decent offensive line, he could be another good running back for the Noles to look to in the NFL.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it was the best decision for Cam to go ahead and declare. I mean, he's taken a lot of workload during his 3 years at Florida State, particularly this year, carrying the entire offense, no matter the game. I mean, really, what else can you say about the guy? True Seminole, and no hard thoughts at all towards him about sitting out the bowl and going ahead to go prepare for the NFL.
Yeah, it's not like this is a playoff game. At the end of the day, this bowl game doesn't really matter. Just for pride and for extra practices, it's better for him to not take that chance of injury, especially if he's going to get a second or third round grade. There's no point in him playing. It's better for him in his career to just sit it out, focus on the draft, and go get that bag.
Real quick tip here too. It was announced today, I think, before we started recording. Florida State baseball is preseason ranked number 15 in the country. A lot of us on here aren't baseball pros, analysts in this situation, so I was going to give it to Dustin to talk about, but he said he's going to give it a break for a little bit. He's going to start studying it next week. But yeah, there's a little note there.
I'll just say, I know that Mike Martin Jr. is bringing a lot of excitement to Tallahassee prior to his first season as the head coach, and they've done a really good job already getting some talented recruits for this class and also future classes. So they're going to be well stocked for the future of this program. And it should be really exciting in his first year after, 41 straight years of his father coaching the team. I mean, that's just got to be a big moment for him as well.
Yep, exactly. Jameis Winston has thrown back-to-back 450-yard games. He is the first NFL quarterback to do this. How about that? I mean, it feels like, it is. It's facts. Every first drive he's throwing interceptions, but it seems like that's all he needs, and then he just starts unloading on people. And he's been a machine the last few weeks. He has consistency, then it drops, and then he has consistency. But he's playing with wide receivers that you don't even know who the names are about now. That he's got Godwin, but he's got guys that Mike Evans is gone too. But he's working with talent that weren't really expecting to get a lot of playing time this season.
Yeah, really, it was not looking good for Jameis Winston's future in Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago, but now the Buccaneers, they've won 4 straight games, back to 7-7 after a 3-7 start, and Jameis Winston has really been the main reason they won a lot of these games. Like you said, Logan, back-to-back 450-plus yard performances, and Winston, he's still not really cutting down on the turnovers, but he's doing enough outside of turning the ball over to win the game. He threw the interception on the first drive against Detroit, responded the rest of the game by throwing 4 touchdowns and 458 yards with a backup wide receiving core, like you mentioned. So I think it's very possible that Tampa Bay goes ahead and franchises Jameis Winston this offseason. And then probably get another look at him in 2020 before deciding to make a decision on a long-term extension.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the most Jameis thing ever. He's leading the league in passing yards and interceptions.
And he also has set a new Bucs franchise record for touchdown passes.
Yeah, so it's the most Jameis thing ever.
It literally is. He's playing great. I mean, he would probably nearly be in the MVP conversation if he had 12 less interceptions. But he's got 30 touchdown passes, 24 interceptions, 4,573 passing yards. So it's like, what do you do with that?
Even if he had 12 less interceptions, he'd be top 7 in most interceptions thrown. So.
Which is crazy. I mean,
I always had a problem with sweaty hands. My feet were so sweaty. My upper lip and my forehead.
I don't know what's on Jeremiah's mic.
What you watching, Jeremiah?
I just got back on.
I was like, what just
chat.
Yeah, it kicked out. I don't know what was up there with the upper lip thing.
What you watching?
What on earth?
Wait,
it's gone now. Yeah, it's gone now. You're good. That was funny. Yeah, I know it kicked them out, but we're back.
Oh, okay.
No. We just heard whatever was going on in the background.
Oh, no, I have SVP on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I guess it's coming through on the mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was close to the TV, that's why.
That's probably why. And then let's jump into also Dalvin Cook, which was announced today that he was voted in the top 5 for the Pro Bowl over Christian McCaffrey. So he's a top running back voted for the Pro Bowl for the 2019-2020 season. How about that?
He's also in the top 5 of the players that have been injured the most in 2019.
All right. We didn't have to go there.
Right.
Poor Austin.
Yeah, I mean, they're still saying he could play through the injury, especially with a huge Monday night game against Green Bay this weekend. And it's not a division-defining game, but it has huge playoff implications. They're saying he could play through it, but I have a feeling he'll sit out at least this game and probably the last game against Chicago as well, just to make sure he's ready for the playoffs. Hopefully he's ready, but it's great to see that the fans want him in the Pro Bowl because he's the best running back in the league.
Exactly. Well deserved.
Well, yeah, he is. That one's fun to watch. Well, I think that will pretty much do it. We got the FSU trivia, though. We don't ever leave that away. I think Austin's got a 2-1 lead on Dustin. Jeremiah.
Before that, 3 to 5 minutes. I just wanted for Austin and I mean, if you guys too, but let's talk quickly about Florida State basketball. Taking on UNF tomorrow in the Tuck.
UNF's going to be annoying. It's going to be such an annoying game. They're first in both 3-point makes and 3-point attempts.
I saw that.
They're shooting at like 38%. It's going to be an annoying game. They're going to hit shots. You're like, all right, what are we supposed to do? They get a fair amount of offensive rebounds just because they're shooting so many threes and there's so many long rebounds that they just chase down. It's going to be a lot like the Western Carolina game, just hopefully not as close.
Yeah, I mean, they're shooting 37.8% from downtown. Their leading scorer, Carter Hendrickson, is actually shooting 42.5% from downtown, and he's averaging 17.2 points per game. So I'm sure we'll see him take 5 to 6 shots from outside tomorrow night. But yeah, I mean, a tough mid-major coming in here to Tallahassee, and if they get hot from behind the 3-point line, like we've seen some of these other teams do against Florida State, I mean, FSU could once again be looking at a double-digit deficit and having to fight back in the second half. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting game. Florida State's had, I believe it'll be, 2 weeks off, Austin, or is it a week off?
9 days.
9 days off because of finals week last week. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how fast they come out in this one against UNF and if the Ospreys can continue to be hot from downtown.
Yeah, and UNF's one of my favorite mid-majors. I grew up not even 10 minutes from that, and I used to be pretty good friends with their head coach's son, so I've been in that gym. I've been in his house. It's a great family, and he's built a pretty good program there. Came from Baylor in West Virginia, and they've now become the Birds of Trey, which I think is a great nickname for as many threes as they shoot.
Wow.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
like
They had it
that.
on their shirts last year. It's pretty cool. Yeah, they're just gonna shoot. They shoot more threes than they do twos. Little hint for my preview article tomorrow. They're one of 4 teams in the country doing that. But yeah, they're just gonna shoot. That's all they're gonna do. They don't even care about defense. They're allowing something like 75 points a game.
Wow.
Do they still have the same coach from that viral meme a couple years ago of the
Same
guy
guy.
just
That's
going
Coach
to the locker
Driscoll.
room?
Yep, that's Coach Driscoll.
Nice.
He's a great dude. Seriously, one of the best dudes I've ever been around. He's a great coach and a great leader.
Yeah, I feel like I always get UNF mixed up with FGCU a little bit.
Yeah, it's understandable. Same conference.
But yeah, I mean, should be a pretty good game tomorrow night in the Tucker Center.
Yeah, and then Saturday you've got South Florida. Getting all the geographical locations of Florida this week. South Florida's a lot worse this year than I thought they were going to be. I'm shocked. I really am. I thought they were going to be a really tough game coming in, but they're sitting at 6-4, and they got smoked by Boston College, which is all you need to know about them.
Yeah. I mean, really, these next 4 games, Florida State should probably win by a decent margin. UNF, USF, like you said. Then they play North Alabama, and then they play Georgia Tech, who's probably the worst team in the ACC, before finally traveling to Louisville on January 4th to open the new year.
Yeah, I don't know if Georgia Tech's the worst. They're definitely bottom 4, but I don't know if they're the worst.
They're pretty bad.
They're horrible, but I think Boston College, or no, Wake Forest is probably the worst.
Man,
What's crazy
Wake Forest has
pick
fallen
one.
off in basketball. Shame.
They get one great player every 15 years, and then you never hear from them
John
again.
Collins, right? John Collins.
Yeah, it was John Collins, and before that they had Al-Farouq Aminu, and they had Chris Paul and Tim Duncan. But every so often they just get some crazy good player, and then you don't hear from them for 10 years.
Beautiful.
Right.
Well, you ready to get the trivia?
I'm
Let's
ready
do
to
it.
nail this.
Here we go.
Is Jeremiah involved?
Yeah, he's gonna be involved. He'll get some because he'll probably he'll see if he can, because next time we record it'll probably be the recap early National Signing Day. So
Yeah.
we'll get him back on too. So he'll have a chance here. He'll have a chance here to get some points. All right, let's start off with this one. Our FSU trivia on Hear the Spear. Which of these 4 Seminoles was chosen the highest in the NFL draft? Deion Sanders, Peter Warwick, Peter Boulware, or Andre Wadsworth?
Andre Wadsworth.
Wadsworth.
Yeah, Wadsworth.
Wadsworth is the correct answer. Next question is going to be, which state was quarterback Chris Ricks from?
It's from Cali, right?
California, right?
California.
California is correct. It's going to start getting tougher now.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
If it's a baseball question, we're all fucked.
Right. Period.
Yeah, I won't be going there for you.
Gotta get some basketball mixed up in here.
Yeah, we got to find some. Next question. This is going to be an interesting one for all y'all. FSU set a record for most consecutive top 5 finishes. What is the total?
14.
13.
Oh, Jeremiah.
14.
Oh, dang it.
13.
It was close. But Jeremiah has been thrown off the ledge.
Eliminated.
Mario Party style.
Yep. He's flicked off.
1 and out.
It's all right. There's still time next time we record to come back. All right, here is the next one. Who intercepted and scored a touchdown on Elvis Gerbach's first play of the game on September 28, 1991 in Ann Arbor en route to a 51-31 Seminole win? Who intercepted and scored a touchdown on Elvis Gerbach's first play of the game on September 28, 1991 in Ann Arbor en route to a 51-31 Seminole win?
T-Buck.
Yeah.
Is it T-Buck? Because I was thinking it was
Yeah.
T-Buck, but I don't want to say T-Buck.
It's
All right, I'll say
T-Buck.
T-Buck.
Definitely.
It's Terrell Buckley.
Dustin can steal my answers. Unbelievable. I'm letting him go first next time.
We said 14 at the exact same time. I will.
No, that one, yeah, but that one was a little sketchy.
Here we go. Another one. And Jeremiah, you can't answer any because you might give them the answer. Which Seminole defender outscored FSU's first 4 opponents in the 1993 national championship season?
Didn't you already ask us this? Is Derek Brooks?
Yeah, Brooks. I think you did ask us that.
That was a trick one. I'm gonna see if you remembered.
Yeah,
We're
right.
just wasting our time.
What, really?
That was to make sure you did if you remember, if you have good memory.
Full of it. He forgot he asked the same question.
Logan, nice.
Who was You like that? Who was FSU's leading tackler in 2003? And here we go. You want to put all
2003.
Yep, here we go.
03.
Oh man.
Here
What
we
was
go.
going on what was going on back then?
We went from Derek Brooks to 2003. It's too early for Buster Davis.
Who was FSU's leading tackler in 2003?
Ooh. That's interesting question.
I have. I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark.
Someone's opening up a candy cane or something.
It's Christmas, bro. But Ernie Sims, maybe.
That's not a bad guess. But I think it's a little too early for him.
When was he drafted?
He was drafted in 06, I think.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was leading the team tackling as a freshman or sophomore, depending on when he left.
Darnell Dockett.
That's a decent guess. Well,
yeah, it's not bad. The only name that's coming to mind for me is Cromartie, but there's no way a cornerback led the team in tackles.
No.
Dude,
and he only had one healthy year.
Yeah.
I'll just say Dockett. I mean, I'm prepared to get this one wrong.
Are you picking Austin?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't even have a guess. I really don't.
It's Michael Boulware.
What?
Yep.
I'd forgotten about him.
Michael Boulware.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had his rookie card back in the day. I forgot about him.
Yep. Big boy.
Well.
Up next, Which team did Florida State not play at all in the 1990s in the ACC?
Like a current ACC team?
Yes.
So it's a current ACC team that we didn't play in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
Ooh, that's where I was going to go. Yeah, I'll stick with Pittsburgh.
Wrong. Actually, this question
Was it
is
Syracuse?
stupid. No, this question is actually really stupid because they try to trick you here. They say Virginia Tech, but they said it because they were not in the ACC in the 1990s. I don't like that question. That one's a jip one.
Wow.
Where are you getting your You're not even making these questions up? You're stealing them from someone else?
We've been over this. We know.
Where else am I supposed to find these?
Google. Wikipedia. The Bowden Dynasty DVD.
Oh, here's another good one. Remember, Austin Veazey is leading 2-1 against Dustin Lewis. Which Classic Bowl did Florida State defeat Auburn 13-7 in 1989? A Classic Bowl game.
I have a guess, but I'm gonna wait for Dustin.
1989.
Yeah.
What do you mean classic? Like a well-known bowl game?
Yes.
What else would that mean?
What? Like just it was a good game?
Yeah, the Shreveport.
The
Tiger Bowl. Sun Bowl.
Yeah, it's their great.
Can you give me their top 25 rankings?
Whoa,
no, I do not have that.
Whoa. That's cheating. Cheating.
I'm trying to figure out if this is like a BCS bowl or something.
Oh.
Which Classic Bowl game did Florida State defeat Auburn 13-7?
I have a guess, but I'll wait for Dustin. I just want to reiterate that.
I actually have a guess too, but I can't do it.
If you wait till the end.
Oh,
I don't count.
Like I just don't even know what the alignments were like back then for bowl games.
You got 10 seconds.
All right. Sugar Bowl.
Damn it! That's what I was gonna guess.
Sugar Bowl is correct.
Sugar Bowl is correct.
That was my guess too.
Dang it! I had that one.
Sugar Bowl was correct.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, I'm so mad.
I knew that.
Dustin.
This is another one since we got to go
All we're
quick
doing
here.
is delaying Logan's stupid
Shot in
fact.
the dark.
Yep. Who did Florida State play in the 1998 Fiesta Bowl? The year after I was born, just to let y'all know.
I feel like you asked this last week as well.
The 1999 Fiesta Bowl.
Nope.
Was that the national championship?
I think we got Jeremiah's TV back in the background too, helping out.
Oh.
It would have been Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Tennessee.
It was Tennessee. You're correct.
We're like 12 questions deep. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
this is getting crazy now. I don't know if
This is the $1 million question now, right? Like if I get this, I get $1 million. That's how this works.
Yeah. This one. I think you got into that round now. This is it for you.
We're on like round 7.
All right, here we go.
We're past that.
Which opposing team has the record for most points scored on a Florida State defense with 63 points?
Wait, say that one more time.
Which opposing team has the record for most points scored on a Florida State defense with 63 points?
Louisville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville. 2016.
Yeah, the no Derwin James game.
The Lamar Jackson come out game.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about that game, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No.
We're just here to rehash bad memories.
Yeah.
I thought you said these were going to start getting hard.
Well, he threw the Michael Boulware question out of nowhere.
That
everything
question
else.
was right.
We're going back to the early 2000s. Here we go. Get ready.
Oh, God.
Which of the following players was not in the running back rotation? Leon Washington, Greg Jones, Lorenzo Booker, Dominic Robinson.
What time frame are we talking about? Like, what year? Is it a certain year or just 2003?
Saying right here.
What were the names again?
Which of the following players was not in the running back rotation? Leon Washington, Greg Jones, Lorenzo Booker, Dominic Robinson. This is a good one. I think this might snap it. This might be it.
This is a good one.
Because this is, yep. No, I don't want to hear any clicking. Y'all got 10 seconds.
I'll go with Robinson.
That's who I was going to guess.
Because I honestly don't really know who that is.
Yeah. I know Leon and...
I know the other
Leon and Lorenzo were there at the same time. Yeah, I'll say Robinson.
Dominic Robinson is the correct answer. He was a wide receiver. Man, this is good stuff, isn't it?
This has been going on for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
This is a good trivia. Looks like these young cats know what they're talking about.
This is a fight to the death.
What number was former Florida State wide receiver Kez McCorvey?
Oh.
Fuck. 7.
For some reason, I feel like it's 13.
Jeremiah, you got any guess?
Nope. I don't guess McCorvey.
Is that y'all's final answer?
Well, that makes me think it's wrong.
Yeah, no. I think it's either 13 or 1, but I'll stick with 13.
What did I say again?
Dustin?
7?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck 7.
And both of y'all are wrong. Number 88.
88.
Oh, I did think about that briefly, but I didn't go with it.
I had no idea.
I did think about 88, but I dismissed it too quickly. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Here we go on to number 15 that we're on. What was Florida State's record in the ACC in 2003?
What's with the 2003 questions?
Florida State's ACC record in 2003.
Yep, this one's more going to be a guess because obviously your mind's going to be trying to figure out
6
how
and
many
2.
ACC games they played.
Yep.
6 and 2.
I want to go with a different answer just so we could just finally end this.
Yeah.
Gosh, I have no idea.
This is a tough one. This is very tough.
I'll say it wasn't 8 games played. I'll say it was 7 and go 6-1.
Y'all are so close. 7-1. You meet.
I thought about it too.
Wow.
Dang.
That was a good one.
Man.
So we're not done yet?
Nope. Both of y'all are not done yet.
Rock, paper, scissors for the end.
Yeah. This is getting tough. This is getting tough, y'all. How y'all feeling?
Like I want to go to bed.
Like I'm ready for it to be over.
I feel like I'm in prison.
All right. Let's go on to number 88 that we're on.
Let's go.
How many sacks did Florida State compile in 2003?
Bro,
what's up with 2003, man?
Pick a different year.
Gotta get these out.
36.
How many sacks did they compile in 2003?
36.
42.
Y'all two say those again, please.
36.
42. Fuck it.
Ding, ding, ding.
What?
Austin wins. The
Oh
try
my
goes
God.
Whoa.
What?
Oh
Wow.
my.
Are you serious?
Yes, it was
you have to be lying.
36.
You have to be lying.
No,
That is
complete
incredible.
guess.
I have to look this up. There's no way.
Yep, it is true. You can try it again on me. It was 36.
Wow.
There's no way.
Yep, this is a true fact. Dustin, thoughts?
I mean, like I said, sometimes you knock down a champion, but they always get back up. So next week I'll be here back for 11 more rounds with Austin.
Oh, this website doesn't have that. I gotta find. I have to. There's no way. I refuse to believe I actually got that right.
You can try to look it up.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I need to make sure I actually lost. There's no way.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way.
It is true. It's full.
Did they not count sacks on Sports Reference?
It is. It's at sacks 36.
Wow.
Is it really?
What's
See it on? I'm on nolfan.org.
Nolfan. Oh. Wow. Wow.
Oh, man. Got it, man. You need to go gambling tonight.
Yeah, I'll do that and lose my entire life savings, so no thanks.
That's what it is. Man, y'all need a fun fact, don't you, before we end this off?
Oh. We really don't. We really don't.
Yeah, you do.
You right, I guess.
Lay it on us.
The thing is, I'm trying to find a creepy one for y'all. I can't find one.
So basically, you don't have a fact prepared, just like you didn't have any questions prepared.
I had the question. I had 55. How am I supposed to know that we'd go for that many rounds?
Come up with your own questions. No more 2003 crap.
Hey, that side really had it. Had it up there. Okay, I'm ready. Y'all ready for the fun fact of the night?
Sure.
I refuse to answer.
Female kangaroos have 3 vaginas.
I've got a fact for you. If you try to suppress a sneeze, you can rupture a blood vessel in your neck or head and die.
I've also got a fun fact.
I hope
Kirby
that
Smart was
happens
a
to
grad
you,
assistant on that 2003 team, since you're so obsessed with 2003.
Who was?
Wow.
Kirby Smart.
Wow.
That is a very impressive fact, Austin.
Yeah, that's
like
better
that.
than anything Logan has told us the past 4 weeks.
Don't worry. The next trivia is going to be something that y'all aren't even going to be able to figure out. It's going to be too hard.
It's going to be baseball questions. We're screwed, Dustin.
No baseball.
I think we'll have some basketball ones introduced in the next pod.
An average person will eat 12 pubic hairs a year in fast food, so I've probably eaten about 36 in 2019.
Oh,
That's gross.
God.
That's actually disgusting.
I'll bring the facts next week.
Oh,
Well, we weren't really talking about your facts that you're eating.
whoa.
What'd you say? You think you probably eat 36 then?
Cause, bro, I'd be hitting Chick-fil-A up. Actually, I guess I'm more worried about McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're just shoveling pubic hair onto your burger. It's like extra topping. You get diced onions, you get pubic hair.
Right. Little sprinkle.
Austin, let us know.
There.
No.
Oh, damn.
Jesus.
Damn, Austin. Dustin came with it, man.
Yeah,
I'm tired of losing in trivia, man. I gotta find an angle.
Yeah, he's got to stoop to lower levels. It's okay. I'll take the high road and just win. It's fine.
I'm still wanting to know how the Big Mac sauce is made, but we'll figure that out next week. How about that?
I don't know either.
I don't. Yeah, I know they keep you to a contract and stuff. They can't let it go. You can't let it out. So it's all right.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll deal with it. We'll figure it out by the end of this year. Well, yeah, I think that's going to pretty much do it. Thank you, Jeremiah, for coming on here. And I feel like we can have Jeremiah just have his own podcast talking about recruiting for 2.5 hours. I don't know if anybody else will agree with me on that, but Jeremiah can talk recruiting. And we appreciate you coming on here and talking with us for about an hour and a half now. And also,
no problem.
We'll look forward to having you back on too to recap the early signing day and see what Norvell and company can do, and see if they get themselves a pretty talented quarterback too. So as always, thank you guys so much for listening to Hear the Spear. You can listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. We're also on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe over there. If you're on iTunes, subscribe. Alerts you every time we upload a new podcast. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow us at Hear the Spear, and in the description below will be the guys' Twitter handles, and you guys can go find them on the Twitter web. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will talk to you guys after the signing day. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's week.